It turns out that being happy in Tehran, Iran, is not necessarily so easy. At least that's what 7 people arrested this past week found out. 6 dancers and a director got together to produce, in the simplest way off of an iPhone, their version of Pharell Williams' Happy. Happy in Tehran. They joined the citizens of 140 other countries who have produced their own local cover version of this song. Really a music video, not singing Williams' part, but dancing to it and celebrating the happiness he talks about in the song. If you want to have a room without a roof. Well, the video started to go viral, and security and religious officials in Tehran didn't like it. They arrested the 6 dancers, they arrested the director, and it turns out that now the 6 dancers have been free, but the director is still in prison, and there are charges pending against all of them. So this story is far from over. How did this happen? Why did they suddenly get released, the 6 dancers? It turns out that President Hassan Rouhani tweeted about this, commenting that cyberspace should be a place that celebrates two-way communication. He then did a quick interview with IRNA, with the official news agency in Iran, and said something quite powerful. He asked, "Why are we so shaky? Why do we cower in a corner in this culture war?" Telling the reporter, and by extension his entire country, that clamping down on these dancers was less about what they did and more about the fear inside of the people who did it. He was very clear, there is a culture war. He was very clear, he doesn't approve of that kind of dancing. But the more important issue, not just in Iran, but really for all of us, is the danger of acting out of fear. It seems to me that's never the best way to make decisions, and certainly not a healthy way to organize either a legal system or a spiritual system. There are lots of things that I don't agree about with President Rouhani, but here it seems to me he carries a spiritual and intellectual message for all people, regardless of politics, regardless of faith. And that is, rather than curse the darkness, light a candle. Rather than lash out in fear and in anger at someone doing something you don't approve of, raise up and celebrate that which you do believe. Are there limits on that? Are there times cultures have to clamp down? I'm sure that there are. But imagine if leaders, political and religious, if their first response to every moment of clamp down was, instead of clamping down, could we light something else up? Whether we agree with Rouhani or not about lots of things, it seems to me that this week, in responding to what happened to these dancers and the director, he actually began to lead the way. Let's see if in the coming week those charges against the dancers are dropped, and even more importantly, they decide to free that director who is still sitting in an Iranian jail.